Concerns over job losses. That's following the announcement of the 3,500 Rand proposed minimum wage figure. CEO at the National Employers Association of South Africa, Gerhard Papenfus, joins us for this discussion. Good evening, Gerhard.
Hello, Jimmy.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well. Gerhard, where are these concerns coming from with regards to that announcement that the proposed minimum wage for South Africa is being considered at around 3,500?
Yeah. 3,500 Rand is still low. It's so we talk about job losses. Let's not try and create the impression that it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's very hard to sustain yourself, let alone others, with that amount of money. But it is so that although there are certain industries where the minimum wage is beyond this, and in some cases way beyond this, there are other industries, private security, taxi industry, retail, hospitality, etc., where the minimum wage is still below that. I'm also talking about farm workers where there's a bit of a special dispensation, and then domestics. But and these sectors and industries will have to adjust quite substantially to reach the threshold if the 3,000 is going to become law. So there is that potential that can happen in certain cases. There are certain industries that use the private security industry as an example. You can't have less guards. Particular premises, if you need 8 guards, you need 8 guards.
Yeah.
So they will have to adapt the price. Retail will incorporate the increase into the commodity. So the person that will get a bit of a higher wage will also pay more for food. But I think they are the most vulnerable workers might be affected. Somebody said to me, he said, I've got a worker is completely unskilled, precious person.
Yeah.
We don't need him. He's washing cars. I'm not going to pay him this wage. We can have our cars washed at a car wash. He's going to lose his job, and it's an example of the most vulnerable which can lose their jobs. So, this is the difficult situation where I don't think that an amount of 3,500 Rand as a wage is going to narrow the inequality gap. It's just not going to do it. What we need is more people working. You give a person a 3,500 Rand and they need to go home and sustain a family of 8 or 6. And amongst those, say 6 or 8, is 3 or 4 people that's actually supposed to work. What we need is for the other 6 or 4 to find a job.
All right.
And because we simply expect too much of the 3,500 Rand. I think it's symbolic. It's actually meaningless, and I say that with sensitivity in the sense, if you earn 2,500 and now all of a sudden you get 3,500, it's a huge increase if you still have your job, but it's still too little. We need to earn much more, and so I think there will be some job losses, but we don't know. We don't know, but I think if there will be job losses, it will be amongst the most vulnerable workers. When people dismiss people, they dismiss those guys that they can get, can go on without, and they will retain those that they really need. And some employers, I read in the media, employers say, we will simply just fire people. I don't know whether they actually will.
Yeah.
But there might be job losses. And I think and government, by setting a wage on 3,500, well, it's not set on that wage, but the panel of advisors recognize the fact that there is a danger of job losses.
Now, Gerhard, in your view, are these concerns justified or a bit alarmist at this stage because a final figure hasn't gone out?
The concerns of job losses is justified.
Yes.
If you lose one job, then it's already a problem. It's a problem for that person. And I think there might be job losses. On the other hand, and I'm not really answering your question, I don't think that the 3,500 is going to bring us into a better dispensation. The lives will not improve. We need an economy that grows. We need to meet more people in the job. We need a policy that attracts business, and we need a new culture in South Africa of hard work. And so, we're going to work ourselves out of this thing, because that's the only way. There is no other recipe of getting out of this thing. Personally, I'm not so much against it. When I sent out a press release yesterday on the issue, it was totally neutral. I said that's the facts. We've argued against it, and we now be on the point of arguing against it, because it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to have it, so we need to find a way to implement this thing that we think is not a good thing, to implement it in such a way that it doesn't cause too much damage.
Thank you so much.
We're getting at this stage.
Thank you so much for your input. CEO at the National Employers Association of South Africa, Gerhard Papenfus, talking to us here on Money Talk with MoneyWeb on Radio 2000 about concerns over job losses after the announcement of the proposed minimum wage figure at 3,500 rand.